Welcome to Game Domain's countdown of the top console release titles of all time. Nothing gets you excited for a new console more than hearing about all the great games that are coming along with it. So let's see what some of the biggest have been throughout the ages. Number 10, Rise Son of Rome on the Xbox One. Rise offered a fresh take on the standard beat-em-up formula from the Streets of Rage days. With responsive combat and an interesting story, the game was set to be the big killer title, and it helped to push the Xbox One off the shelves. It was the first in the next generation for Xbox fans, and while there was some disappointment at the execution, it did what a good launch title is supposed to do. It got people talking, and it got systems selling, and it gave us a taste of what was to come. Number 9. Blasting through both the Legions of Hell and our countdown comes Doom on the 32X. This is the first time that console gamers got a chance to really sink their teeth into one of the classic godfathers of modern-day first-person shooters. It offered a stable frame rate and all the bells and whistles of what Doom should be. It took a little getting used to playing with the controller, and since it was a port, there was always the occasional hitch or hiccup. But overall, it was a worthy port for an ultimately unworthy system. Number 8, Resistance Fall of Man on the PS3 comes roaring back in the number 7 spot. Resistance was the new hotness from our friends over at Sony, promising a cinematic experience and things never seen before in a first-person shooter, alongside multiplayer and an entirely new world and new threats. The good news about this little story is that they managed to deliver with a very polished and interesting title that spawned multiple sequels, and will, to this day, kick the hype machine back into gear should another one be announced. Number 7, Armored Core 2 on the PS2. The first Armored Core on the PlayStation had a strong, albeit cult following. Again, it was something new at the time. You got to sit in the comfort of your own home and stomp around cities as a giant robot, and to a point it actually felt like you were 10 tons and 100 feet tall. Add in the trademark customization and configuration that the Armored Core series is known for, and it's easy to see how this one helped sell the PlayStation 2 to audiences new and old, as well as spawn dozens more sequels behind it. Killzone Shadowfall for the PlayStation 4. The original Killzone was released on the PlayStation 2, and it was a huge hit. Everyone wondered if it would ever make a comeback or if the series was just dead for the home consoles. Enter the announcement of the PlayStation 4, and with it, Killzone Shadowfall. All of the futuristic weapons and enemies, picking up the story where the last one left off, throwing you into what World War II would have been in the year 2099. With a vast array of weapons, deep and engaging characters, and a story and combat that are as silky smooth as it comes, and it's easy to see why this one helped fly the PlayStation 4 off the shelves in record time. Number 5. Altered Beasts on the Sega Genesis. People had seen the side-scrolling, face-beating fun that Altered Beast offered before. Does anyone else remember Bad Dudes? But what Altered Beast did better than the others is that they offered something more. Once you did enough punching and kicking, you got to shapeshift into an unstoppable werewolf that could kick and shoot and just go crazy. Add in the interesting enemies and enemy mechanics, and while it was something we'd seen before, it was something new and exciting at the same time. A great way to kick off the long history of success for the Genesis era of gaming. Number 4, Soul Calibur on the Sega Dreamcast. The way that the gameplay, gorgeous stage design, and brilliant soundtrack all carried over to the home platform was on its own a feat and made for a worthy title to kick off the life of a new system. Then you have to add in the tons of additional game modes and features that they added, and this was a must-own title for those that invested in the next generation of Sega console, and a very good reason for anyone that had not made the leap to strongly consider it. Number 3. Wii Sports for the Nintendo Wii is third on our list, with your daily dose of all things sports. The Wii did a lot of things right. The first and foremost of those things being the motion controls and the way that they not only put them on display, but put them on display for the whole family. I think that at one point or another, everyone that was involved with the Wii had the experience of getting the non-gamer members of their family to pick up a Wiimote and throw their first digital bowling ball, laughing and smiling the whole way. It is that level of engagement and innovation that has made Nintendo one of the top console and game creators for generations to come. Super Mario 64 for the N64 jumps into the number 2 spot on our list. Just the fact alone that it is a Mario game is enough to get it selling like hotcakes. Add in the fact that it's a new Nintendo console, and you already know that it is going to practically sell itself. This one had even more to give. Hats that give you new abilities, check. Same classic formula, check. 3D gameplay, check. Wait, what? That's right. This is the first time that Mario found his way out of the 2D side-scroller and into a 3D depth-of-field world, and Super Mario 64 had everything going for it on its release, and so did the Nintendo 64 because of it. Number 1. Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo warps into the number 1 Grand Champion Best of All Time spot on the list. What can you say about this one that hasn't already been said 1,000 times over? It took everything about the classic Mario formula, made it bigger, brighter, better, and more. Then it added in what would become a long-loved character in the form of Yoshi, who's gone far enough to get his own spin-off title. The Super Nintendo is one of the most successful console releases of all time, and to this day you can't get your hands on a copy of this game for under $40, which speaks highly to its legendary status. Well, there you have it, folks, our list of top 10 console release titles. Which one of these sold you on the console they came out with? Which one turned you away? Which one are you still sad that you missed? Let us know in the comments below.